Good afternoon, members of the Board of Trustees, President, and the University leadership. My name is Marisha McDowell, and our consulting team has been commissioned to evaluate and fortify the digital resilience of this institution. Today, we are presenting the formal incident response plan for Midwest State University. As consultants, we don't just view a university as a network of computers. We view it as a complex ecosystem of people. When we talk about cybersecurity here, we are talking about protecting our primary stakeholders, our students and their parents who trust us with their futures, our faculty and researchers whose life's work is stored on our servers, our university admin and board who carry the legal and ethical weight of the institution, and our IT department, a dedicated team of 15 staff members who are on the front lines every day. We also recognize that a crisis involves the outside world, from law enforcement and insurance providers to media and public relations. Our mission is to ensure that when a threat emerges, this entire network of people moves in sync. Over the next 15 minutes, we will show you how we transition the university from a reactive posture into an intelligent, proactive defense state that safeguards every one of these stakeholders. To understand the weight of this plan, we have to look at the environment we are hired to protect. This university operates like a small city. You have over 25,000 students and 3,000 faculty and staff who rely on your infrastructure every single day. This isn't just about providing network access. It's about the stewardship of Social Security numbers, financial aid applications, and decades of academic records. The digital footprint here is massive, spanning 3 physical campuses, a cloud-based learning management system, and on-premise student information systems. Because of this, the university is under a microscope. You operate under strict federal mandates, FERPA for students' privacy, and Gramm-Leach-Bliley Act for financial data. As your consultants, we recognize that a single breach isn't just a technical failure, it's a legal and institutional liability. Our plan ensures that the integrity of these systems remains uncompromised. So, what are the specific threats our team is fighting? We've identified a human technical collision. On the technical side, we are seeing advanced persistent threats. These are low and slow attacks where quiet programs slip into the system and wait for a tiny gap in software updates to strike. On the human side, there is a vulnerability that software alone cannot fix: phishing. During high stress periods, like finals week, students and staff are more likely to click on an email that looks like an official financial aid notice. That one click gives a hacker a doorway. Furthermore, distributed denial of service attacks can freeze campus availability, preventing thousands of students from completing coursework. We are here to ensure that hoping for the best is replaced by a rigorous, tested strategy that addresses these OSI layer vulnerabilities from the ground up. This brings us to the core of our proposal, the Incident Response Plan. Think of the Incident Response Plan as the university's emergency blueprint. Just as you have protocols for physical emergencies, this document tells the team exactly what to do when a digital alarm sounds. In this next section, we'll explain the architecture of the response, how we classify threats, who is on the team, and who holds the ultimate authority to make the tough calls during a crisis. We have designed this framework to be repeatable, scalable, and most importantly, transparent to the university leadership and your insurance providers. I want to draw your attention to this matrix as it is the brain of our response plan. Our consulting team uses the CIA, confidentiality, integrity, and availability triad to remove the guesswork from a crisis. As you look at this table, you'll see 4 priority levels. At the bottom, P4, low represents routine alerts, like an isolated phishing email caught by filters. We track these to look for patterns, but they don't disrupt daily operations. Moving to P3, medium, the focus is availability. This is typically seen in distributed denial of service attacks. If the website goes down, it stops work, but data isn't necessarily being stolen. It is an operational risk that requires a fast technical fix to restore service to students. P2, high focus is on integrity. This is critical. It happens if a hacker enters a research lab or financial database. They might not steal data, but they could change it. If research data or student grades are tampered with, the university's academic standing is compromised. Finally, in red is P1, critical. This is the code red, focusing on confidentiality. This involves ransomware logging records or a breach of sensitive student data. This is where FERPA violations occur. By using this matrix, your internal IT team knows that if an event hits red, they must execute the most aggressive response immediately. There is no debate, the matrix dictates the urgency. Next, let's look at the who. Our consulting group recommends human in the loop framework. While AI is fast, human judgment is required for high stakes ethical decisions. On the inner circle, we have the technical analyst. They are the eyes on the screen looking for anomalies, behavior that doesn't fit the campus's baseline. If they see a login from a foreign country at 4 a.m. on a staff account, they flag it. Once flagged, the incident response team, composed of your 15 IT staff members, takes the lead on containment. Alongside them are the forensic investigators. They act as digital CSI unit. They don't just delete the virus, they find patient zero, the entry point, to ensure no backdoors are left behind. The outer layer is just as important: communications, legal, and compliance. These roles ensure parents and students get clear information through flash alerts rather than rumors, and that every technical move follows federal law. This structure ensures your technical experts can focus on the fix, while the administration focuses on the university's reputation and communication with law enforcement. A common failure in a crisis is not knowing who is allowed to pull the plug. Our plan solves this by codifying authority. Under the policy we've helped draft, the Chief Information Officer is the ultimate authority. However, we built in a tiered authority system. A lead analyst has the power to instantly isolate a single server if they see a virus spreading. They don't need to wait for a phone call while the virus moves. But for a university wide kill switch, taking the whole campus offline, that decision goes straight to the Chief Information Officer. This ensures speed for small problems and executive oversight for the big ones. To prove this plan works, we've run a deep dive simulation of a P1 critical event. For this exercise, we chose a ransomware attack targeting the student information system. This isn't just a technical exercise, it's a test of our communication, our legal compliance, and our ability to restore the university's mission. I want to walk you through exactly how our proposed incident response plan handles this crisis over three distinct phases, keeping our stakeholders, from students to insurance providers, in mind. In phase one, the simulation begins with our endpoint detection and response tools, flagging a massive anomaly. The system detects that files on the primary student information system server are being encrypted at an impossible human speed. This is the warning shot. Within minutes, your IT analysts are on the line. They aren't just looking at the alert, they are performing a deep packet inspection to see where the commands are coming from. Is it a mistake or an external attack? In this simulation, it's a ransomware attack designed to hold student grades for ransom. While the analysts verify the threat, the forensic team is already taking digital snapshots of the network. This is critical ransomware, often deletes its own tracks once it's done. By taking these snapshots immediately, we preserve the digital fingerprints so we can study the attack's origin later. We are essentially freezing the crime scene while the crime is still in progress, ensuring we have the evidence required for law enforcement and your insurance providers. Phase 2 is the heat of the battle, lockdown and eradication. Once a threat is confirmed as a P1 ransomware attack, the AI defense systems move into automated quarantine. The infected servers are placed in a digital cage so they can no longer communicate with the rest of campus. This is where the Chief Information Officer steps in. Based on our report, the CIO authorizes a targeted kill switch for the affected database segment. We sacrifice the availability of one department to save the integrity of the whole university. Once the spread is stopped, we begin eradication. This is where we use the software bill of materials. Every piece of software has ingredients. The hacker used a specific vulnerability in an outdated piece of code to get in. By consulting the software bill of materials, our team identifies the exact software flaw. We don't just clean the server, we apply a permanent patch to that specific ingredient. This ensures that when we bring the system back online, the hacker's key no longer fits the lock. We are rebuilding the wall, not just painting over the damage. The final phase is recovery and institutional healing. Per university policy, we have a strict 24-hour window to communicate. We don't hide the breach. We use flash alerts to provide a transparent, honest account to students, parents, and the media. This proactive honesty is what saves the university's reputation in the long run. Then we begin the sanitized restoration. We don't just dump our backups back onto the servers. We use our 321 backup system: 3 copies, 2 types of media, 1 offsite. We restore the data into a clean room environment. We prioritize student financial records and payroll. We make sure that those are restored first. Before any computer is allowed back on the main university network, it undergoes a deep scan to ensure no hidden backdoors are left. We return to service only when we are 100% certain that the threat is gone. Throughout this, we maintain a log for insurance providers to prove we followed every industry standard for recovery. That concludes our walkthrough of the ransomware simulation. As your consultants, we use these simulations not just to test technology, but to test the muscle memory of the entire organization. We've seen how IT team, the Chief Information Officer, and the legal and communication teams must work as a single unit. The simulation proves that while a P1 critical attack is a high-stress event, it is manageable when you have a predefined playbook. But a plan is only as good as the lessons we take away from it. Now that we've seen the battle in action, I want to move into our final section: the strategic lessons learned and the long-term recommendations we have for the Board of Trustees to ensure this framework becomes a permanent part of the university's DNA. To wrap up, our consulting team provides 3 strategic recommendations to ensure this plan lives and breathes within your organization. First, build security muscle memory. We recommend quarterly tabletop exercises. Your 15 IT staff members and the admin need to practice these moves so they aren't reading this plan for the first time during a real crisis. Second, standardize software bill of materials audits. You should know the ingredients of every piece of software before your procurement department signs a contract. Prevention is always cheaper than recovery. Finally, adopt a resilience-first mindset. Move from a reactive posture to a proactive one by monitoring behavioral baselines. If we know what normal looks like, we can spot abnormal in seconds. Protecting this university is a massive responsibility, and as your consultants, we believe this framework provides the security and the peace of mind that your 25,000 students and all of your stakeholders deserve. Thank you.